Welcome to Founders Future, a podcast powered by Closers.io, where we dive into the journeys of innovative entrepreneurs and explore the road ahead for them and their companies. I'm your host, Jay Encarnacion, and in each episode, we uncover the stories behind impactful ventures, the challenges faced along the way, and the strategies driving their future growth. Today, we are thrilled to have Andre Mullen, the founder and CEO of Paradigm. Andre brings over 30 years of expertise in the music and tech industry, having grossed nearly $7 million in deals for artists and labels, and a passion for empowering Black and Latino artists and creatives. Based in Hempstead, New York, Paradigm, founded in 2021, is revolutionizing how artist managers build sustainable businesses through services like the Paradigm Shift newsletter and growth strategy sessions. We'll be exploring his founding story, how his business supports the music industry, and his vision for scaling this culture-preserving venture. So let's dive right in. Andre, welcome to Founders Future.
Oh man, thanks for having me, Jay. I'm excited. I'm excited.
I love it. I love it. An absolute pleasure, Andre. So let's start at the very top for our listeners here. Take us back to the beginning, Andre. What specific problem in the music industry as a whole really inspired you to start Paradigm?
Wow. I always say I bumped into my purpose.
Love
My mantra is that I've always wanted to see artists win. I started in the music industry as an artist. I think everyone that has started in the music industry or is in on the business side was once an artist at some point. I was and transitioned to the business after a friend of mine introduced me to a music publishing agreement. And he told me, he said, this is it. This is the currency of the music industry.
it.
And I was like, whoa. I was like, I'm in. I got to know more about this. I'm like, I don't think I want to be an artist anymore. If this is where the money is, and I want to know what's going on. And just showing my age a little bit, this was really pre-Google. So there wasn't a bunch of, hey, let me go look up. He was interning at a label at the time, and he brought me more agreements to look at. All redacted. Don't worry, I wasn't reading anybody's information. All redacted. And I just learned and I really soaked up the jargon, information, went to the library to really get involved and get some understanding of some of the terms. Met people at ASCAP, met people at BMI, even took the bus down to DC to the Library of Congress just to learn about how copyright was part of the whole publishing aspect. And publishing really is a part of the industry that, even to this day, many people do not understand. Folks in the industry do not understand it. I liken publishing to like accounting. It's not really sexy. Nobody cares about accounting until it changes numbers in your own bank account. That's when it's that's when it's like, ooh, yeah, I'll go with that. But other than that, who got time to look at numbers? Nobody's doing all that.
Yeah.
But I will say that what publishing has done is in my journey, it has been my area of proficiency where I've been able to make sure that artists are getting paid from their music more than anything. There's artists that have worked on music and have created music decades ago and still receive monies from publishing. So publishing is super important for artists and especially even now in this digital age. Definitely.
Incredible. Incredible. With that, Andre, especially for someone like myself or our listeners who aren't very well versed in the space, in the music industry, walk us through exactly how you are generating revenue today as a company. So, if we have listeners right now that are tuning in that want to come and work with you, what is the core offer there? How do you structure it for your clients when they come to you?
We work with artists, the main driver is to help them create sustainability in their artistic journey and career. It's great to put music out on DSPs and it's great to see it there, and that's all well and good. But ultimately, there is what's the word I'm looking for? There is this connection, authentic connection too, to the music that they create. And what happens with that is, and why that's so important, is because they took time. The music is a reflection of who they are, a moment, a thought, an emotion. And what we want to make sure of is that everything that an artist puts into creating that moment, sonically, we want to make sure that they get paid. And so there's registration that a lot of artists miss out on. Registration with sound exchange, for instance, for what we call non-interactive rights, royalties, registration for publishing administration, registration for media base, illuminate, places where music is tracked and monitored. So there are some very key elements and platforms that artists need to register their music with in order to make sure that they get paid. And that's what we do. We make sure that artists get paid.
Love it. I absolutely love that. What's working best for you, Andre, on the front of actually getting new artists through the door for you guys? How are you acquiring new artists on that front consistently, knowing that you can keep building and scaling the brand?
What we're doing is, I always believe that knowledge is power,
Yeah.
and informing people of keeping people informed is the main way that we do that. We do that via the paradigm shift, and we are partners in quite a few events that allow us to really speak to the art community, the recording artist community, music community, and really help them see the importance of proper registration, the importance of metadata. I talk about that a lot, because most of the issues with music is that the metadata surrounding it. And just so people know, metadata is just data about data.
Mm.
So it's really information that, especially now in this digital age, that a lot of artists are not inputting the proper amount or any of the right data. And so that's what ends up having their royalties going to what we all call the black box. And so what we've been doing is using events, using the newsletter, using, and even referral from different artists I even may consult with, to really begin to provide a platform and a means and a way and a pipeline for artists to say, hey, wait, you know what? I need to know this. You guys do this. Yes, we do. We can help you do this. And that's how we've been building. That's we've really been disseminating the information, and that's how we've been scaling.
I love that. With that, Andre, talk to us a bit about your vision here. It's clear as day the passion that you have, how intelligent you are, how you're talking through the process and continuing to be that real ground and base for your artists. Just incredible what you're able to do, and truly a pleasure having you on the show, walking us through the process there. So talk to us about your mindset for the rest of the year here, the next 6 to 12 months. What are your top priorities? What are your certain goals that you have? How are you going to continue to scale and grow and build the Paradigm name?
Our mission and our vision is very ambitious. We are an independent publisher that specializes in marketing and talent management. And our mission really is how we want to preserve cultural legacy of Black and Latino creatives. And with that, to be the trusted and preferred music publisher for Black and Latino creatives in the world. That is the mission. That is the vision. Very ambitious. However, what I know is that there are a lot of Black and Latino creatives who they're not receiving the proper compensation for
Mm.
their music. And when you look at just music industry stats, last year, at the midpoint of 2024, Latino music was close to over $1 billion in revenue. And a lot of those artists they're not making that money. Look at the biggest genres in the world, hip hop, R&B. A lot of those artists aren't making the monies that they should be making from these areas and from these genres. I see that. I've known that for years. And so now how we're positioning ourselves is it's pretty much it's like a three-prong approach. One, we're bringing in artists that are Black and Latino that really have a strong catalog that we know though they're like not making all of their money. Making some money, they're doing okay, but they could do better. And that's where we come in to do the admin work, to market back catalog, and to manage their brands. And then on another prong, if you will, we're starting to really move in the area of events, collaborating and partnering with some great minds, the Recording Academy. We're also doing some partnerships with a conference in Boston called GrindCon, which is an amazing conference. We're looking forward to working with them, working with some great platforms like Even Symphony, just to continue to build out and build awareness for what we do. And then on a third leg of this whole thing, we are really working with singers, songwriters, producers in the area of sync licensing. That's part of our marketing mix, not necessarily our revenue mix. Whereas most publishers are like, hey, we're gonna get your music synced, whatever. That for us is more, we look at that more as from a marketing perspective. Okay, how do we continue to increase the IP of a catalog if we get it synced? If we get these songs synced versus, oh, we're trying to make money from sync, let's go try and get this placed. No,
Right.
we want to make sure we have the right fit. We want to make sure we have the right relationships. And so that's how we're moving forward in the next probably year to 2 years. I think we're looking to right now we have a roster of 3 artists that are really sizable.
Yeah.
And then we're probably gonna add probably like 4 more that we've already are in conversation with sizable catalogs. So we're really excited about that. And we have just like I said, we have just some great partners that's helping us to do some tremendous work. So we're really excited.
Incredible. Yeah, I mean, it looks like full steam ahead for what you're doing there. Absolutely amazing with how the progress is continuing there for you, Andre. So I have one more question for you before going into the lightning round and wrapping up the show for our listeners. And this last question, Andre, is really how do you see the music industry and its evolution as a whole in the coming years, especially with your culture preserving approach with AI and technology? How are you picturing that evolution and how are you positioning Paradigm to take advantage of that evolution?
It's interestingly enough, I've been having this conversation with a few people. It's either when AI is talked about in the framework of the music industry, I've always feel like it's from two extremes. It's always either people are like, oh, we got to embrace it, we love it. And then there's other people like, oh my gosh, be careful, it's going to steal your IP and gonna steal copyright and all this other stuff. I look at AI as is beneficial. However, I also know that at the end of the day, there cannot be anything creatively that AI can do without human input. Will it get far beyond that? Who knows? Probably, maybe. But as for right now, guess what, folks? This is where AI is. You just got to continue to give it prompts. It's gonna learn. It's gonna build. My concern really is in the area of copyright. My team and I have been just having conversations about making sure that the music that is part of the catalogs that we're administrating that is protected because hey, look, if you may be getting millions of streams on Spotify, but if the song is not registered, yeah, you may turn around and your song might be used as a deep fake. And you'll never know. You know what I'm saying? Until someone says, hey man, I was listening, this song sounds almost like yours. I'm really focused on building that out for us as it pertains to copyright. That's a really big issue that I'm looking at. And I've always felt, and this is always a conversation I have with folks, is that the music industry hasn't itself doesn't innovate.
Yeah.
There are people that that bring innovation into the music industry, but the industry itself doesn't innovate. And what I've seen in my experience is that the bigger pieces of the industry want to cannibalize those innovative parts to make it their own because their money is long. They got a lot of
Mhm.
money. So they're like, oh, okay, oh, you know what? $50 million here, take it. But it's,
Right.
oh, wow, 50 million. I'm here, can't take it. But then all they do with that innovation is it's just a trophy. And they don't know how to apply it. They don't know what to do with it. They just know that could have been competition. And that could have been something that started to move in on something that was there. And I pride our company on being one of the few truly independent companies. We're not linked up with a major. We're not linked up. We don't use major platforms, major avenue. We don't. And that's because I just see how things are moving. And we out here and we're waving the flag and making sure that people understand and know that we are committed to the cause.
Incredible. Incredible. I absolutely love every bit of that. And then just last question for you on the lightning round side of things here, Andre. And that's going to be as far as advice for our listeners tuning in right now, Andre. What's a piece of advice that you can offer them before we wrap up the show?
I would definitely say don't fall for imposter syndrome. And don't fall for what I call the shiny object syndrome either. So, the imposter syndrome, we all heard of it. It's that feeling like, oh my gosh, I can't believe all this is happening. How could this happen with just me? It's supposed to happen. I believe that consistency and diligence are what breeds success. If you're doing something long enough and you're doing it with excellence in mind, you're going to be successful. It's inevitable. And so that doesn't mean you're an imposter though. When great things happen, doesn't mean that, oh my gosh, maybe I don't deserve this. No, it's not about you don't deserve it. You've put in the work. You've done the work. You've done the work probably that other people didn't want to do. And then shiny object syndrome is something that I speak about often because, hey, I used to deal with that too.
Yep.
You're working on something, you see someone else doing what you are doing, and they're further ahead and they got all the success, and you're like, oh my gosh, I guess I got to do what they do. But then you
Yep.
see somebody else and you're like, oh, I got to do what they do. Think of the cat that chases the light, that the pointer light. That's what shiny object syndrome is. And really, ultimately, my encouragement to any founder, any entrepreneur is, hey, dig 10 toes in and run your race. At the end of the day, stay in your lane, because in your lane, guess what? You determine how fast, how slow. Hey, if you just stop for a minute, you determine your speed. I don't determine your speed, and no one else can. And no one else can even talk to you about your speed. All they can just say is, hey, man, we see you moving, keep moving. Just stay in your lane, stay focused, keep your head down. Don't get caught up in the highlight reels of social media, because some people got a great way of showing you some really great things. And then when you look into their lives for real, it's a mess. It's a mess.
And that is a lesson to really take home with, and truly a pleasure having you here, Andre. So with that, that is going to wrap up another inspiring episode of Founders Future. Andre, again, thank you so much, man. An incredible journey so far. Clear as day how much passion and love you have for what you do. And again, an honor having you on our show, talking us through, sharing your insights with us today. To our listeners, if you enjoyed this episode, which I know so many of you have, don't forget to subscribe to Founders Future wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. You can also check out Paradigm at weareparadigm.co and subscribe to the Paradigm Shift newsletter at andremullen.me for actionable growth frameworks. For Andre on LinkedIn, follow him at linkedin.com/Andre-Mullen-MBA. For more resources and insights, visit closers.io, where we're dedicated to helping businesses accelerate their growth through trained appointment setters and world-class marketing systems. Until then, Keep climbing, and we'll see you on the next one.